6. I am Renee with Anomaly the Agency.
And Chanel with Chapter 28 Beauty. We have a special guest with us today,
Chef K. Cuddy.
All right, and today we're talking health and wellness. So let's get into it.
Yes.
So yeah, we kind of just want to know, I've been seeing a lot of people post, the sea moss all over Instagram, Snapchat, and every time I ask them, oh, where'd you get it? Where you get it? They go directly to you. Oh, follow her, do this, do that. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
All right, so I'm an alkaline vegan chef, and I just preach health and wellness into my community. I do my thing with my sea moss. So sea moss, let me break it down for you a little bit. Sea moss has 92 of the 102 minerals that your body needs. So it literally helps with everything. As long as you're consistent with it, it's gonna help you with your energy, your moods. It helps with thyroid problems, diabetes.
Oh wow.
Regulates your blood pressure, your hair, your skin, your nails, literally everything.
Wonderful. And so I guess the starting question is, how did you get started with everything? Like, what made you want to get into sea moss of all things?
Well, technically, CMOS just started for me. It was more
Okay.
more of my health. So, for like 6 years, I was dealing with. I'm not able to, like. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm not able to like smell or taste really at the.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. You did not know that.
So,
All right.
I've been dealing with that for 6 years. So, I had 2 sinus
Oh,
surgeries before. I used to have really bad asthma. I also had endometriosis. I had 2 tumors the size of softballs in my stomach that had
ah,
to be removed. So yeah, my health was like really declining, and I was constantly going to the doctors all the time, and they weren't able to tell me why these problems kept coming back. Like, so I
really?
started doing some research myself or whatever like that, and I got into intermittent fasting, started intermittent
Okay.
fasting or whatever, and that helped a little bit because when you fast, your body's taking a break from like digestion. So like when your body's constantly digesting food, that's where a lot of your energy goes. So it's not able to like heal. So that helped a
Okay.
little bit, but that didn't take away the problems. Then this past May, my dad, he passed away of diabetes.
Oh
So
my God.
it kind of like just resonated with me a little bit, like, yo, maybe I'm
Right.
having these problems because of food too. You know what I mean? So I came across
Right.
Dr. Sebi on YouTube, and then I got into like the alkaline lifestyle and stuff like that. And I struggled with it for about like 2 months, and then one day I just decided like, yo, I just need to cut this shit out because like I was still having health issues or whatever. So I
Right.
threw away everything in my crib, like all the bad food and shit like that, and I just started over fresh. And ever since then, I'm able to breathe through my nose. Like I had no air going through at all. Like I was not able to breathe. My asthma's gone, and my
Oh
smell and
wow.
taste is kind of coming back. So right now I'm on a 21-day fast. Water,
I
sea
did see
moss.
that.
Yeah. So that's kind of helping with my smell a little bit, but I have to get something to like some herbs to really like flush out all the mucus out of my system. But it's helping though. Honestly, my asthma's going, so I can't complain about that.
Right?
That's wonderful though. The fact that you're seeing like some crazy results and it's really improving your health in general. And I see you talk a lot about it. I've been watching a couple of your videos. First of all, your hand rolled sushi looks banging, and I
Oh yeah, that
absolutely
shit is
am going to
A1.
try it because it looks really good. I'm definitely a sushi person, so that looked really good. But I see that you do a lot of things like that. And that's dope. Like, were you already into cooking beforehand, and this kind of just
Yeah.
elevated the experience for you?
So I used to cook seafood. I was selling seafood
Okay.
platters, like, out of my house and stuff like that. And a lot of
Oh,
people were buying that. That was good as well. But I've always had like a little talent for cooking and stuff like that. And it's
nice.
crazy because like a lot of people don't know that I can't like the way you guys can taste, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't taste
Right.
like that. But like I feel like it made me a better cook because like, your tongue has 5 different palates. So it has like the sweet, the salty, the bitter, sour, all that stuff.
Mhm.
So in my cooking, so that I can taste a little bit, I try to incorporate a little bit of each. Like I try to get, the saltiness, the sweetness, a little bit sour in all in one flavor. So that's like my food's really flavorful. Like, but yeah,
Mm.
Nice.
yeah.
That's good to know. Okay. Yeah, and I think
don't try to, you know what I'm saying? Don't try to steal
no, hey,
my
Okay.
look,
technique.
I'm not. I will not make any attempt. But let's be clear. So, but I will be hitting you up because I saw your menu and stuff. It looks really good, and So for a while, I was a vegetarian, and I really feel like that just made a major difference in my life in general, my energy, just everything. And the reason I stopped mainly was because I was pretty young. I was doing it for 2 years, and I had just recently moved on my own. I think it was like 18, 19, and it just was super expensive, to be honest. And I think that was the main reason I stopped. And then I was making pasta
Wait,
like every day.
Expensive.
can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I really was tight when you did that. Like, why?
Expensive
Mad
though.
about
What were you buying? What were you buying? Like, were you buying like the pre? See, this is another thing too. Like, all right, if you eat the right way, like if you eat, because you have to fast. You're supposed to fast
Right.
every day. So usually I don't start eating until 12, and then I got an eight window period. I eat from 12
Right.
to 8. So if you, and then you're not really even supposed to eat heavy meals. So if you're eating like you're really supposed to, you can budget to where it's cheaper than probably what you're, what you're spending right now. And what were you
Well,
eating, like soy?
now, mind you, that was like 10 years ago. So
Yeah,
that was 10 years ago when I was doing the vegetarian thing. And so I've recently been thinking about it a lot lately because, again, I really loved my energy. And I think back then, because I was just getting the hang of living on my own. And
yeah,
honestly, like, I didn't really cook as much because I lived in a household where everybody cooked. So it was not required of me to even do it. And so that kind of allowed me to fall off a lot. But now that I do, a lot of cooking on my own, and I'm always trying to find healthy recipes. I don't really like to fry anything. I love to like bake chicken and stuff like that too, but it's getting kind of boring to me. So I've been looking into getting
yeah,
back into it. So when I did come across your page, I was actually like, oh, okay, again, I see you put like the quinoa and the rolls and stuff like that, like things that I'm interested in. And you just made it look real banging. I feel like that's the
yeah.
key because everybody like, oh, all right, well, I'm not doing this because this shit looks, unflavored and this and
You
that.
gotta
But
learn how to like spice it up though, because quinoa is
right,
actually nasty.
right.
Quinoa is not like
See, I love
when I
quinoa.
first,
I love quinoa, but it has no flavor really. So
yeah, it
it's like
has
you have to
nothing.
be, yeah, yeah. But that's really cool. And so you said you've been doing this for how long?
This is my 5th month.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
what differences are you seeing aside from like your sinuses clearing up and things of that nature? Like, what?
Less cramping, because I used to have really bad cramping to the point where I would pass out. I would be in the hospital, just
Oh
extremely,
wow,
like I gotta find the picture so you guys can see what was in my stomach, because I got pictures of the surgery as well. But
wow.
what else? Energy's through the roof. You know what I'm saying? My moods, I'm just happy. Like I radiate with love now. Like I don't have I don't have any negative thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like I learned how to steer away from, like, just like 7 months ago, I was wilding out here, like and shit that's not, good for your health, and my mental was
Right.
not there. So the best thing about it is the mental clarity and like the progression. Like only 5 months, and I'm like more ahead than I've ever been in my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So like,
That's beautiful. Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's cool. So with this, because it is so early, and I like I said, you're making some type of impact because I see everybody, and I like the fact that you repost, just from a PR perspective, I like the fact that you repost everybody like posting when they're eating the sea moss and the different things that they're doing with it, because I think that's really important.
that's
And
a
it's
fact.
such a booming thing right now. It's so
Yeah,
booming, like, because my mom was the one who told me about sea moss, and she was taking like pills or something like that. But the fact that you have it in its natural form
yeah.
obviously is going to have more of an impact here. Um, where do you see yourself kind of going, whether it's with the sea moss or not, but just in general, as far as, the healthy and, the health and wellness, where do you see that going in the next couple of
Right
years?
now, well, actually, I want to be a personal chef, but I want to get more into like the herbs and stuff like that. So I'm learning about that. I'm just trying to push health on the community as much as I can, because I want people to like for real. This is real life shit to me. Like the transition that I
Mm-hmm.
had in only 5 months. You know what I'm saying? Like I want people to know like
Yeah.
what the life that you're living, probably, that you think is okay, or your life might be terrible. Who knows? I don't know. Life is not what it seems. Like it's so much
Right.
better, and it could change just from changing your daily habits, and it starts with eating too. So
I've,
that's why I'm so vocal with it, because I want people to know, like, it's attainable. You can do it yourself too, and
mm-hmm.
it really gives you a whole different perspective on life. Like for real, it really does. But want to be, well, I'm going to be, not even want to.
There you go.
You gotta manifest.
Right.
There we go.
Right.
And that's that's a fact, though. So I want to tell y'all a little story or whatever, because ever since I've changed too, I've just been manifesting everything, like everything that I wanted.
You posted that on your most recent video. I did see that. You were talking about manifestation.
Yeah. So back, my birthday is in December 20th. I was supposed to go to a vegan restaurant, right? And on my birthday, I got really like sick. I was feeling tired and shit. I fell asleep the whole day. So I ended up going to this restaurant months later. I was there eating by myself. You know, I took myself on a little date or whatever. I was sitting there eating by myself.
Right.
It's a fact.
Right.
It was in Philadelphia.
That's it. Because I always do that and always complaining. Sorry, go ahead.
That's love. That's real right there.
I love taking myself out.
Right. So anyways, so I went to this restaurant and I didn't even know at the time that the lady that was the owner, she was a friend of Dr. Sebi's. I didn't even know that. So I'm sitting there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there and I got the utmost respect for that man, because like I feel like, you know, he's gone, and not even in the physical, like in his teachings, I'm healed, like mentally, you know, physically I'm healing and all that. So I was just sitting there eating, and then two brothers walk in. One, his name was Ogun Kemi. He's 70 years old, right? And he walks in with a friend, and I'm sitting there. They're like, "Peace, sister," like da 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 da. So I'm like, "Peace, family." So they go sit down, and then they're like looking over at me, and he's like, come join us or whatever. He's like, I feel your energy, like come over here, sit with us, your smile's radiating. So I went and I joined them, and we were talking for like 3 hours. I got caught up. I was actually supposed to go to New York to meet up with some friends, and I pushed it back because I just got like, like they were connecting with me like on a spiritual level, like, and I never really like was in tune spiritually, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just feeling all different types of emotions and shit. So we exchanged numbers and stuff. I go out to my car after sitting down with them, and I started crying. Like, I don't know why I started crying like a bitch.
Felt it. You
I
felt
was crying, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, I barely cry, so I'm like, what the hell? Like, it was really touching in me. So, you know, we kept in contact, and he sends me like, he'll text me every day. He'll send me like videos and certain things to watch or whatever, like informational shit. So he sent me an interview with a guy. They call him Mr. G. His name's Abelardo Guerrero, and he has a book out right now. Actually, it's the book right here. It's called My Journey with Dr. Sebi, right?
Okay.
So I was watching this interview, and I'm like, yo, I gotta reach out to this man. Like, you know, I gotta reach out to this man. I feel like I just want him to try my food, right? So after watching the interview, I wrote him on Instagram or whatever. He wrote me back 2 hours later, like, yo, wow. He's like, he gave me his number, and he's one of Wendy Williams' producers, like for her TV show or whatever. So he reached out to me or whatever, and I'm like, yo, like, you know, whatever the price or whatever, like, you know. I said, I want you to try my food. That's what I told him. I said, you don't have to pay or nothing. I just want, you know. So he was like, all right. He was looking through my page and stuff. He said, yo, I get, like, you know, I feel like you're genuine. He said, a lot of people rate me. He's like, I always reach back if I feel like, you know, their energy's real and it's genuine. He's like, I could tell like you really about your stuff or whatever. So I'm like, yeah. So he's like, all right. So he was like, check this out. Like, you want to work or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, like, what's the cost? Like, so the little bit of savings that I had, I put it in for him to, he did a short documentary on me. He filmed me. I rented a place out in Philly with a nice kitchen or whatever, Airbnb or whatever like that for the weekend and whatever. He filmed me. So he interviewed me like on my story, you know, how I came up and, you know, how I got to where I'm at now. So, but it's just like, and then he's cool with they're like family, because he was traveling with Dr. Sebi for like 2 years, you know, recording him and on his lectures and stuff like that. So he put me in tune with Dr. Sebi's son. So it's like all these people that I was like, you know, all these people that I was like looking like up to, like for information and stuff like that. Now I'm connected. I'm in the circle with them off of You know, it's just everything's just aligned and it's divine timing. It's just like, wow, it's like it's crazy, but it's real too at the same time. So yeah.
I'm sure I feel like for me, like if that was my experience, I feel like that would have kind of been the turning point for me where I felt like everything I did up until this moment, like making those changes and like it all brought me into that realm at that very moment. So
That's a
that's super
fact.
dope. Yeah.
That's a
I
fact.
do
And
want to
it
say,
really put me into perspective over like, you know, religion and spirituality. It really put me into perspective.
why are you laughing?
No, because I was brought up in a Mennonite church, you know what I'm saying?
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's
Different.
crazy, right? But
We're cousins, by the way, and I don't know none of this. I said we're cousins, by the way, and I don't even know none of this.
Everything she said, you know, like wow, what? Wow, like
so
Terrible.
I'm sitting here like, well, how are y'all even related? You don't know anything about the girl.
So yeah, like it just like put me like, you know, when something really just resonates with you, like I'm there with it
Right.
now. Like I'm in tune spiritually, and I'm like, yo, like the way the universe works, and you know, just like you know, being really in tune with yourself, your higher power, finding the God in you is just like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's crazy because it's, I mean, the shit that's going on right now in the world, like we was really brainwashed, a lot of us, and a lot of people aren't enlightened and stuff like that. So I try to speak on that too, but it hasn't been going too well on Facebook. People been calling me crazy.
That's how it is. I mean, you know, you figure all of the quote unquote geniuses of the world, they were always ahead of their time, especially.
Yeah.
Okay, so saying Dr. Sebi, and I've heard it pronounced Dr. Sabai. So I don't know the proper pronunciation.
Who said that?
I've heard it so many different ways. I know who he is. I'm familiar with him, but Dr. Sebi, I'm gonna go with Dr. Sebi for the sake of this
See,
vlog
I
today.
used to say Dr. Sebi, but I've heard that the correct pronunciation is Sebi. So
Okay,
that's
Sebi. All right,
Sebi,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, no, I'm like, no,
Sabai.
and I'm 100% because I've heard it so many different ways that I'm like, okay, she's probably saying it exactly right. I don't know, but you know, I remember seeing him, you know, back when, you know, oddly enough, when Left Eye went out there right before she died, and she put everybody onto him, and I think ever since then, like it's kind of been this journey for him where you know, just to kind of figure out like, you know, what he's saying and like just to understand his truth in general. But I feel like it's one of those things where people don't really get the answer until they're ready. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a lot of what we talk about in general. Yeah, like, you know, I feel like it's you know, perspective. It's, you know, everybody's journey, it, you know, is different, and it comes at a time when they're really supposed to receive that message. You know, for instance, for you, you know, it came right after your father passed, and you felt like, you know what, let me take a step back, and like now you're receiving all of this information for yourself, and you're growing in a totally different level. And it's more than health and wellness. You know, it's a lifestyle. Like this is something that you live by on a regular basis. And I feel like for a lot of people, it's hard. Like even just in general, health in general, you know what I mean? Going to work out and, you know, things of that nature. It's hard for people to stick with it because they don't understand the fact that it has to be a lifestyle. You have to eat, sleep, and breathe this shit on a regular basis. You know what I mean?
That's
And
what
I
I
feel
be
like it's
trying to
very
tell
difficult.
people. Yeah, I be trying to tell people that too, like with the CMOS too. Like I started the CMOS challenge or whatever, and I didn't really think it was gonna like blow up like that. You know, it started off with me challenging my boy, like, yo, let's do this, you know what I'm saying, on camera, because I'm gonna see if you can take it raw, because a lot of people don't like to take it raw or whatever. And, you know, it went from me posting his video to everybody just doing it without me even asking them to do it. But
that's what's up.
Yeah, but what was I saying now? Yeah, that's what I would try to get people to think, to know though. Like it's not a new trend. I don't want people to think, oh, this is a trend, because you know how things work in our city too. Like people are with the wave, you know, the new wave, and I don't want it to be like that, because this is real. Like this is a lifestyle, like you said. So
I will say for the longest time, I chose not to pay attention to CMOS, even though it was like right in front of my face with like everybody that I was around, because I felt like it was a trend, and I usually wait until the trend dies down for me to start to research and do everything so I can get like real information on it. And what was so interesting is ever since I realized that you were chef, you were cooking and stuff like that, and you know, you kept saying, let me know if you want me to send you, you know, my your list of like what you eat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And even though I never reached out, like I was like, if she doing it and she's serious about it, let me look and see. Even though I have people right in front of my face every day taking CMOS, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm just so happy that our city is starting to become like you're teaching everybody around you and informing
Right.
everybody around you. So now, of course, I'm in Virginia Beach, but that's still my city. You know what I'm saying? Like I come there like
that's a
every
fact.
month. So what's so crazy is, I know I reached out to you over the last couple of days as far as like the CMOS and stuff like that, but I've done like my own hardcore research on seaweed, and Irish moss is just one of the many that you can really get into, and they all the seaweeds that are edible provide similar, elements and things of nature. So it's important for people to understand, like you said, sea moss is not a trend. Don't think it's gonna go down or whatever. Like, you need to incorporate this into your diet for the rest of your life.
Right.
One of the things that was really big to me that I was reading was the iodine in the sea moss, and what is it? Iodine 124 or 127? What is the number?
Yeah, well, you know a little bit more than me.
Well, I only say that because I think it was iodine 124. Is what basically seaweed produces for us. Like it's what we need. If there's no iodine, there's no life. You don't live unless you have iodine inside of you.
And also, I don't mean to cut you off, but like with I don't know if you guys believe in the radiation from the 5G and all that stuff like that.
That's so crazy to say that, because that's one of my questions.
That's where I was going. So look. So then I was like, okay, in the same article that I was reading, they were saying that the nuclear power plants are giving off iodine 131. That's important to remember, iodine 131. And, it's getting sprayed around the world on a daily basis. This is covering our crops. This is covering our vehicles, our clothes. This is on us every day. This is not going to ever change. This is life. So what they were saying was, you need to take in the proper iodine, because if you don't take in iodine, for the sake of this video, because I'm not sure, I don't have my notes. What did I say? 124?
Yeah, 124.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that because you put me on.
Right.
Iodine 124. If you don't take in enough of that, when you walk outside into the world and iodine 131 is coming down, your body needs it, it's going to take it in. If you have enough of the right iodine, the iodine that's produced by the seaweed, it's going to reject it. It's not going to need it. Number one, iodine 131 is heavier because it's a radioactive, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever that is. So that's super important, because basically we're not ever going to get away from these nuclear power plants. They're going to be everywhere, and they're making more as we speak. You know what I'm saying? And
depopulate us.
So it's very important to incorporate some type of seaweed into your diet, whether that be the nori, the wakame, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, the Irish moss, which is what you produce or you distribute. They have the what is it? Bladderwrack?
Bladderwrack.
Yeah, like all these different ones. Figure out which one works for you. I bought 4 different ones in the last couple days.
Send me it though, because this is another topic that I want to know, because we got all right, so a lot of men have been reaching out to me that sell sea moss, and they're like, yo, I see you doing your thing, like I can give it to you for the low and all this stuff. So I'm like, all right, I'm always willing to support, but I need to see your product first, because I know my shit. I know what's the real and what's the fake, and a lot of people don't know that there's fake sea moss.
Right.
So you got the wild crafted, which comes from the ocean, and then you have pool grown, right?
Right.
So I met with somebody actually yesterday, and he was telling me the prices, and I'm like, oh, like I need to get with this man, because you know what I'm saying, it blows my shit out the water. So I go meet with him or whatever, and I'm like, let me see it. And I feel like he already knew that it was fake, because he's like, oh, I'm gonna bring it to you soaked. And I said, no, let me see it in the raw form. I know what it looks like soaked, you know what I'm saying? I need to see it in the raw form. So he pulls up on, and as soon as I open the box, I'm like, oh, nah, man. I said, you should not be selling this to people. He was like, oh, why? I'm like, first of all, it has so much salt. Like, if your sea moss has a lot of salt on it, right, that's a straight sign right there that,
What happened, Renee? Renee.
Oh, so where'd she go?
Sorry, I don't know what just happened.
If the sea moss has a lot of if it has a lot of salt, that means that it's pool grown, it's fake. So a lot of people are out here selling sea moss and they don't know. They just go on the internet and find sea moss and they buy the first thing they see. They don't know that, you know, the knowledge behind it. You have to know what you're really buying, because you're not going to get people the same, you know, minerals and nutrients that have to come to their body. So that's what I tell people too. Like, and it's hard when you're buying it in the gel form because you don't know, you don't know what it came like. Matter of fact, I got some sea moss right here. So
there you go.
Yeah, right.
I wish I should have grabbed some fake sea moss off of him so I could have compared. But like sea moss in its raw form, it's kind of like thin.
Wow.
Right. And it doesn't have a lot of salt. Okay. So what they're doing with this fake sea moss, he even had a seashell in his. They're trying to fool people. I said, my man. I said, listen, wherever you got this from, you know, send it back. Get your money back. He said, well, I got 15 pounds coming. I have to get it off. I said, don't do that. I said, don't do that. Don't sell that to people. You know, if you really care about people's health. But he's still gonna sell it. You know what I'm saying? So there's some people out here that are honestly just doing it too for the monetary gain, and it's not.
Renee, I'm looking at your cleavage, dude. Like, lift your camera up. We're looking at your chest.
Why would that be something that you would shout out at this moment? Like, wow, you're lit. I know you're
there
lit
you go.
because now you're calling me damn, like.
Well, that's so interesting that you said that because, like you said, honestly, you never know what you're getting. But there is Dr. Sebi. What is it? I can't think of. Like, he's confirmed certain ones to buy. Yeah. So that's the ones that you should really go with. And Wildcrafted is one of them. Yeah. I don't know if mine came from Wildcrafted or not because I had to order what I could get as soon as possible. Yeah. But the rating
you got it really in its raw form. If you do, send me a picture after this, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I got it in raw. It's actually soaking right now. I already made gel.
Do you have some of it like this?
Yeah, I have it, but it's soaking already, so you're not gonna see it before.
Okay, all right.
You're not gonna see what it looks like.
Did it have a lot of salt? Did it have a lot of salt?
Okay. It didn't have a lot of salt. It didn't have a lot of salt, but I want to just try to get familiar even before this video. And actually, today is my first day of going vegan. I'm done with meat. So,
yay!
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I mean, since we're having this conversation,
I mean, obviously, this will be the perfect time.
What's your first meal? What's your first meal gonna be? Well, what was your first meal?
Honestly, I had made a smoothie, which was filled with 1/4 tablespoon of the Irish moss gel that I had made. And then I put spirulina. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
I put a spoon of that and I put a banana, my protein powder, which I didn't have vegan protein powder.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Listen. And then
we got the chef on. This is why we have the chef on today. So she can
see. There's another thing too. Like me, I have a friend that's vegan, and I'm alkaline vegan. So me and her, like, we always, the regular vegans and the alkaline vegans, like we talk our shit because you know we eat top of the line, like straight, you know, everything natural. Like almonds are man-made.
So what does alkaline vegan mean? Let's clarify that.
So alkaline is based off of acidity. So everything that I eat from a strict list, it probably has less than 100 foods on it. And it goes off of the pH of the food. So anything over a 7.3 something, I forget the exact number, but we don't eat anything that's acidic. Because when you put acidic foods into your body, that causes inflammation, which is mucus, and then mucus, you know, is disease. So, yeah.
Well, and then I was originally introduced to alkaline through water. I have a friend who actually pulled up the different waters and like did the alkaline test and everything, and he really put me on. I don't know if that has anything to do with that at all.
Nah, that does though. That has. But the thing too with the alkaline waters is, this is what I be trying to tell people too. You want to drink spring water, and then you have to test everything though, because I actually did a test the other day, but matter of fact,
I watched it.
She said I watched it.
So if you buy this shit, they got this on Amazon. So this will test the pH of your water. So make sure you buy spring water first of all, because spring water is in its natural filtration, which means that they don't touch it. when it comes out from the ground, it comes out purified already. So they bottle it at the source. Like if you actually go to like places like the Caribbean and stuff like that, in Honduras, they have springs where the water's like, the alkalinity of the water is like 9 point something, like amazing. But you don't want to get like the alkaline waters or anything like that, because if you actually, matter of fact, hold up. I mean, this is some of the waters that I use for like a lot of people. This is alkaline water right here. So a lot of people drink like, you know, but these are man-made because they're doing stuff to the water. They're altering it to make its pH higher. So like this, your water should not have ingredients at all. So if you look at this, where is it at? Okay, ingredients. It says purified water by reverse osmosis, and then it has sodium carbonate, dipotassium phosphate, magnesium sulfate, and calcium chloride. And then it has electrolytes for taste. Like, why? You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's
like,
water.
why?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your water should not have like
electrolytes for taste. Electrolytes for taste. All right.
Yeah, for taste. Like, damn, it's like that. So you
Right.
want to get, so the water that a lot of people, hold on. Where we at with it?
Yeah.
I be buying these. I carry my gallon. I don't know where that shit is right now.
Yeah,
But,
that was the water I was doing. I definitely drink that. I was doing my gallon challenge, and that was the water that I drank specifically.
So a lot of alkaline vegans drink. A lot of vegans drink this, anyways. A lot of conscious people, what they put into their body. Now there was recently some type of article that came out that's saying there was arsenic in their water. I don't know if it was like the media trying to like slam them. I don't know what it is, but I tested the pH of it. It comes out alkaline, and there's a guy that I follow on Instagram. Now he knows way more than I do, and he has like better things to test his water for, like chemicals and stuff like that. He said he tested. This is all him and his family drink, and they're alkaline vegans. And
oh wow,
there's no chemicals in it. There's no chemicals, so I mean, it hasn't given me any problems. I'm good. That's what I drink all the time, or sometimes I'll drink Eternal water. That's also.
Have you heard of Kangen water? Have you drank Kangen?
Yo,
yes, I have.
Yeah,
I've heard of Kangen water.
But that's man-made too, because I don't know. I was talking. He there's a guy in Reading that he actually came on one of my posts rudely.
Ooh, ignorant.
Yeah, he was like, sorry to burst your bubble, but he's like, that water is not naturally alkaline or something like that. So then, we got a few words, and then he was, trying to sell me his product, but I didn't like his approach. So,
right.
I will say that I did do the test with the Kangen. I did do the drop test with the Kangen, and out of all the waters, and I lined up smart water, I lined up alkaline, products that are supposedly alkaline. Like you said, you really have to test them because you never know if they're lying or not, and even a lot of the things that say are alkaline are not, or they're man-made alkaline. It's not 100% right. And the Kangen did come out to be the better water at, during that test. But
but but what are they doing to the water though? It's not in its natural state. Like they're taking regular water and what they're processing it to, they're doing something to it.
What is the thing? It's called micro something. It's these little.
Why? Well, we can just drink, water in its natural state. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I gotta figure out the name. The whole point of the whole point of electrolyzing the water is to give it enough of oomph, so like when it's going through your body to start to pull the different fats and things like that out to be able to drain it out your system. So like, that's the science behind it, which I get, but I also get, let's just not mess with the water at all and just drink the purest.
There's no need to mess with your water, because then if you eat right, you eat correctly, your body will do that for itself.
They're called microclusters. That's what Kangen water has, is microclusters, and it's so small that it's supposed to be able to like get into those little pockets and start pulling out that fat and pulling out all the mucus and clearing your lining, for lack of a better word, and draining you out. And it's supposed to not make you feel bloated. because it's microcluster. So it's supposed to be like really, really small. And I can say that when I was drinking the water, I did taste the difference in like the thickness of the water, which is weird. Not taste it, I felt the difference of like how it went down and things of that nature. But again, a lot of this stuff is your brain. So I don't never knock nothing. I try what I can try, and I try to be as authentic as possible when I'm giving, my experience on it. But yeah,
Right.
I mean, keep it simple. Just drink it in its form. It's in its regular form.
Yeah. So that's another thing. Like alkaline, we just do everything natural. Like, you want to stay away from like seedless grapes, seedless watermelons, because life doesn't come from anything, unless it's planted, right? Even us, we're seeds.
Right.
So like you want to take in as much natural
Right.
Correct.
natural
Natural.
things, and you're gonna heal ultimately. And then when you do that, you're gonna heal in all aspects, mentally, physically, spiritually. So it's just, you vibrate higher. Like the alkaline food is, you literally vibrate higher. Like your frequency just, it goes up. So
Right. So let's get into, because again, that was one of my questions, and I was debating on if we were going to talk about this, because I feel like this in itself could be a whole nother full-blown hour of conversation. But let's talk a little bit. Let's touch base on 5G. That is such a big thing. I actually had a conversation with one of the doctors that I work with, and she didn't really say a lot, but she said enough that I understood that it was something that was clearly important to people on different levels. You know what I mean? People are noticing certain things with this 5G, but I feel like there's a whole lot of people, there's a whole population of people that don't even understand what it is.
that's a fact. And I took some notes the other day. I didn't know we was even going to talk about this, but hold up.
Yes.
Mhm.
Let me see. Oh, 5G. Hold up, baby. I got like 3 pages. Because I'm really like, I'm saying, this is like, go ahead. You could say what you were saying, and I'm gonna talk about ways that we can protect ourselves from 5G, because it's
No,
real.
yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not 100% educated on it. Obviously, I understand that it's technology based, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I actually watched a video yesterday about 5G.
So 5G, what they're saying right now is, all right, so let's talk about ways that we can protect ourselves from 5G, because 5G is radiation, which it can cause cancer, damage to your DNA, organ damage on the inside, but it's not enough that's going to kill you right away. They're basically
Right.
frying us at a legal limit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So slowly frying us, but at a legal limit still, because I think, let me take a look at my notes real quick, because
Well, what I was hearing was that, like, in general, with the towers, you have to be super close to them for it to even be effective. Like on the cell phone and stuff, like you got to be super close, which was already an issue to me, that you had to be that close to that vicinity. Like it wasn't like spread out like how it is with 4G and 3G or whatever the case may be. Like
yeah.
apparently right now you have to be like super close with it for it to be the most effective.
I see. I'm not sure about that, but all I do know is that they're really putting them everywhere right now. They're
Right.
even they got the 5 trees
Right.
now. Like you see them
I've
going,
seen that.
they
I've seen that.
disguising them as trees. Like, we see you, my
Well,
nigga. Like,
and just for anybody who is listening and is so confused as to what 5G is, so it's a fifth generation network. So we're talking technology. So we're talking the next step in technological advances, cell phones specifically. We're talking the rapid pace as to which you can click on something and it'll up, boom. It's just the speed, the bandwidth and all of that. So that's what we're talking about right now. But go ahead.
all right, yeah. So there's a lot of different ways that we can protect ourselves, and health always starts internally. So
Mhm.
especially during this time, you want to make sure you get your sea moss, the real sea moss, but you want to make sure you get your sea moss, because it has that potassium iodine, which binds to any toxins or chemicals inside your body, radiation, and it's going to help flush that out. So sea moss is essential. And then you need the proper, the proper diet, for real. You have to eat right, because if not, it's going to affect you in a really bad way. But 80% of your immune system is your stomach. So that says a lot. So if you build up your immune system, once your immune system is strong enough, it can fight off really anything. So if your immune system, even with this corona, I don't know what's going on with coronavirus. I don't know the cause of it. A lot of people are saying, it does share some of the symptoms of 5G radiation, but I don't know, but we just have to build up our immune systems, and that starts with eating right. If we eat right,
Right.
a lot of shit will be eliminated. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can take a sea salt bath to get the radiation. Like it says at 104 degrees. When you come in from outside, you know, because they're about to start going up everywhere. You could take a bath at 104 degrees with sea salt. And then you want to get the chlorophyll in, which has in seaweeds, kelp, kale, and a lot of leafy greens because that has the energy from the sun. So, kale,
I did want to say one thing.
yeah,
There's no I'm sorry. There's no land green that can touch seaweed, that can touch any seaweed.
yeah.
So kelp, I mean not kelp, I'm sorry.
Kale.
What did you say? Kale. Yeah. That one is probably as close as you're gonna get to getting somewhat of what you need. You need to have seaweed.
Yeah,
Seaweed has the
iodine.
minerals that has the iodine that you need.
Right.
Yeah, kale
okay,
and
go
that
ahead.
just has like it has the chlorophyll or whatever.
Right. Right.
That's the energy from the sun. And that's another thing. They keeping us inside right now. We have to be outside in the sun. You know what I'm saying? The sun heals. The sun is we are light healers. You know what I'm saying? So the sun, just you being outside in the sun for 45 minutes a day is gonna make all the difference. The sun gives you energy. The sun powers everything that our lights are on right now because of the sun. You know what I'm saying? We talking right now because of the sun. So like the sun is essential. They brainwash us to think like, don't be in the sun, you're gonna get cancer, or don't look in the sun. No, you need to be in the sun. But the thing is that causes cancer from the sun is the toxin that's already inside your body. So when you out and it reacts with that causes skin cancer and stuff like that. So like I said, health starts from the internal. Fasting. You have to fast too. Intermittent fasting. Sometimes just taking a couple of days off from eating. Like even animals in the wild, when they're sick, they stop eating. When you stop eating, your body will regenerate itself. You know what I'm saying? Your body will heal itself. Your body is an amazing thing. So your body works in mysterious ways. If you take a break from eating and give your body its real energy and to work in its natural state, it will heal. Like it will definitely heal.
Absolutely. And I know a few people that are actually doing intermittent fasting right now. And that was something that I was interested in too, because it's an 8-hour window, right? So you're saying, let's say from like 12 to 8 o'clock. And then after that 8 p.m., you're just not eating again until the next day at 12 o'clock. And I heard that it's really good. It refreshes. It's fasting. And I know what fasting does generally, but like it's a different form to it, and it really rebuilds your body in a different way. So I've been hearing a lot about that actually. So that's something to touch base on.
Hours too. There's different hours. People do different hours. Like when you
right.
12 to 8, that gives you a 16-hour break or whatever like that. But you know, there you can do 10 to 8. It all depends. Like you could whatever works for you, but it's essential to take a break from eating. Like, you know what I'm saying? It really is. And you're not even supposed to eat heavy ass meals because then your body, you know, and when you're constantly snacking all day, all your energy is going towards digestion. Like all of
and what I will do though is when your body is telling you something, listen, because my body will literally tell me like you're good. You know what I mean? Like you don't, you know, whatever it's telling me, like if you're full or whatever the case, you gotta listen to your body. I feel like it's absolutely telling you everything and anything you need to know about it. And I feel like a lot of people avoid it, you know, specifically with alcohol consumption. You know what I mean? I feel like I know a lot of people that will spend their whole day drinking and not eating, knowing that that is not it in any way, shape, or form. I mean, like that's not healthy, and you end up, you know, you just end up too overly intoxicated, and it just messes up your whole body, your whole day, your whole everything. And so
I wanted to add to that when you're done.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
To bring it back to like the Irish moss and the seaweed and stuff like that. They say for those who are like craving salty foods and things of that nature, like a lot of seasoning, you're deficient in potassium. You're deficient in natural salt. So you need to do a high potassium seaweed, which would be, I believe, it's the brown seaweeds, which would be the bladderwrack and things of that nature. But you need to put more of that in your diet, where that's the healthiest way to consume a salt.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And break it down and cook it the way you need to cook it. But that is what you need to be putting versus putting a whole bunch of salt or natural sea salt or whatever. Like everything is
Right.
dressed up. Everything is,
Right.
you know, changed and modified for the United States and us, you know, just money
Hmm.
wise. Everything
Right.
is souped up. So you need to get it in its rawest form at all times. And now is the time to be doing your research on all this stuff. I mean, I'm gonna give
Absolutely.
you a little bit of information, but you know, Kia, she gave enough information. Everybody should still be doing their research and following up to get more information so that when you do
Yeah.
call her and you have the
Right.
conversation about the CMOS, you know, you guys are giving to each other and you're not just taking. People want somebody to just give all the time. I'm not going to sit here and question her 1,000 times about something I can research myself. We're
That's
gonna
how
come
Right.
my
across
inboxes
Right.
be,
information.
yo. It should be crazy.
Oh, I already know because that's how my inboxes
Yeah.
be or something.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm not going to bother you with too much. I'm just going to ask you the necessary questions so that I can do further research. And then when
Right.
we link up, now we're having this conversation and like we're sharing
Right. We're
information.
comparing
And
ideas.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Bouncing off.
oh
Yeah. Bouncing ideas off each
yeah,
other.
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
extremely
Absolutely.
important. Yeah,
And I
So
will say, whether this is the way to go, whether you feel 100% that CMOS is the way to go or not, whatever you decide to do health wise, just keeping yourself in a position where you feel good about yourself on a regular basis, you got to do your research. It really doesn't matter what it
yeah,
is that you're doing. You know what I mean? And you got to be 100% with it. You can't go 50% and think that how you're halfway, other half of how you're living is going to make up for the other half of what you're trying to
right.
do in advance. Like it's not going to work. You got to be in tune with yourself. You got to know yourself. I think that's number one for me personally. You just got to know who you are, what you want out of what you're trying to do. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're just doing things to fill up
Wasting
time.
time. You're wasting time.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, but
So
you're
I think
wasting
it's
time.
very important to know yourself. It's very important to understand why you're doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like even as something as simple as the gallon challenge. You know what I mean? Doing research, seeing other people's progress and what things that happen, whatever. Like anything that you go into, you have the ability to research it. Everything is accessible right now, whether you would believe it or not. I do get a lot of questions as well, and I'm kind of just like, wow, in my mind, I'm like, I don't mind being the person to provide this information. And I also don't mind providing the link to further that information. But to me, it's
Right.
kind of like, you got to do your research. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because
Exactly. I
that's what I'm
know
doing.
that.
You know what I mean? I
And
But
only
people,
had the answer because I
people honestly get
research.
offended too when you tell. I share as much
Yeah.
information, but then like I can't give you all of my time. So I'll give you the basics,
Right.
and if you want to further your knowledge, then I'll give some suggestions as to where you could go. But a lot of people don't want to do that. They just want to hear it. So
Right.
it's just like
They
exactly.
just want
that's a
they want
problem too.
everything in a box. Yeah.
Yeah.
They want everything in a box. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
I will say, like, my sister-in-law, she's been coming over in this quarantine. I'm around the same 5 people every day. And we've been working out, but the really important thing about that is your nutrition has to be on 1,000, you know what I'm saying, in order for you to
Yeah.
be seeing a difference and maintaining that difference. And
Mhm.
that was something that we always struggle with because we're always, we'll pick up a diet, a low carb, a high carb, or whatever, type of diet, and we'll do it for a couple of weeks and it ain't working. We're not seeing results, the scale ain't dropping. You have to understand that when your body isn't doing what you wanted to do and you're working for it, you are deficient in
Right.
something. You need
Yeah.
to fill that void. You're deficient.
But
A lot of
diet, what does it have? Diets always die out. Diets
yeah,
always die out. You gotta look at it
Okay.
as like health.
That's a good
Health,
little exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
health has healed. It heals you. You know what I'm saying? Diets die, health
put
heals.
them on then. Put
So
them on then. Go
Like
ahead.
no,
yeah,
that's a
I like that.
fact.
I'm like, okay.
Look,
Look, take
hold on.
back
Standard
down real
American
quick.
diet. Look, I'm about to repeat them. Standard American diet. Break that down. What does
Sad.
that mean?
Sad.
SAD.
Yeah,
SAD.
that's a
I got
fact
that from you.
though. That's a fact. That's also a fact. That's
Yeah.
a fact.
So, yeah, I definitely think that everything that we're talking about right now is super important to even make it to that spiritual realm where you can really get
Right.
into yourself. You need to be ingesting and living a life through like natural health as best as you can because it's hard for people. Like it's hard for me. My family, we're not in no way, shape, or form about to stop eating meat, but I've made that decision where I'm gonna have to just fall back for a little bit and see if that works for me.
Yeah.
A lot
Right.
of people think that you need to eat meat to have
Protein.
all your protein, and
Well, let
that's
me
not the
let me
case.
tell y'all
That's
something
not the
about
case.
this. Let me
Not the
tell
case.
y'all something about this. You cut out meat. That meat is the middleman, because all of them cows,
Exactly.
they get their
They
protein
eat
from
right.
plants.
Right.
All
Right.
protein comes from plants. Yo, hemp seeds, you take like a fourth of a tablespoon of hemp seeds, and that has like 9 grams of protein right there. Like, you can get protein in small ass amounts that will,
Right.
give you your serving for the day. So
Right.
it's all the brainwash. It's all the brainwash.
Yeah. I can't think of. I actually wrote down the man that brought that diet to America, where by eating meat, that was going to give you the best. I actually watched a documentary called The Game Changer on Netflix. I think everybody should watch that. My brother-in-law put me onto it, and I watched it just the other day, and I was very animate about getting these things in before I had this conversation with Kia, because like Renee had said the other day, we need to do more research before we get up on this video and make sure that we know what we're talking about and we have enough information. And immediately that resonated to me going and doing what I needed to do while we have this time. And that was brought to us, and it was to bulk up our athletes. You know what I'm saying? Like eating all meat. That was to bulk everybody up. And you don't hear of a lot of vegan, vegetarian, like athletes. You don't hear about it, but there's a lot of them. And their endurance is just amazing when you put them side by side to someone who is eating a heavy meat diet or whatever, or a high meat diet. It's insane how much endurance they have and how much longer they can go just on nothing, surviving on nothing, because of the minerals and elements that are fueling them, the enzymes that we need in our body to heal and things of that nature, like muscle repair, all that ties back to what you're eating. Like,
that's a fact. Like gorillas are the strongest animals, and what are they? They eat plants. That's it. And they're always in the sun. You know what I'm saying? We have to get out in the sun, and they don't want melanated people at that to be in the sun, because sun gives you information. The sun is energy. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
A lot of like the Caucasians, they don't really need it. I'm halfway myself, but
No, I think it's important to shed light. Like I said, I think the most important thing, whatever you decide on, your healthy lifestyle, number one, let's not call it a diet. Like you said, diets die. Healthy lifestyles keep you healthy, make you heal. And whatever you decide, you definitely have to be able to research it and understand why it's important for you. Everybody's body type is different. Your reactions are going to be different. The changes that are made in general are going to be different. And I think that's a hard concept for people to grasp in general, no matter what. And I think that's the basis of this conversation, is really just understanding. And health has a lot to do when you feel healthy, when you feel good, like you said, like you just feel so good, you feel positive on a regular basis. When you feel like that regularly, that adds so much positivity to the other things you're doing. You know what I mean? And this goes right back into business. If you were asking yourself this whole time what this has to do with what we usually talk about, this has everything to do with it. Because if you feel good, you do good work. Like, that's it. You feel good, you're putting out positive energy, you're doing what you got to do, you feel good about it. It resonates, and it shows in your work, period. You know what I mean? Whether you believe it or not, it really does show. And I think it's just so important to understand all of that. You know what I mean? Understand the ins and outs of that.
I have to stop nodding.
No, because I'm like this too, like, because it's facts though. That's a fact.
We all listen. Look, you make a TikTok, like.
Listen, do y'all understand? This video is not gonna be out till Wednesday because I got to do all this editing. Like, come on.
But we better get some bloopers from this, because we need bloopers.
I got to.
No, but yeah, that's really good. And I appreciate you for coming on, because like I said, I have been watching you and then finding out that you were related to Chanel, and we have been asking ourselves, like, who can we bring on, especially for a topic such as this? You know what I mean? Like, we're getting back into our health. We're doing, we're taking necessary steps to get better within ourselves. But I just thought that it would be great for you to come on, because like I said, I'm seeing everybody on my Snap, on my Instagram, posting this CMOS, and I'm just like, damn, I'm trying to get on it. And like I emailed you, and I was just like, yo, I need this. Like, I want the purple one naturally. If you got the gold, I'm cool. But no, like,
well, I did want to say, not to cut you off, Renee, I did want to say, that my whole reason for, basically going green and really pushing for the natural and supporting, especially what you got going on and what you're doing, is because I have a natural product line that I'm producing and I'm manifesting. So, just like people will be like,
Practice
oh,
what you preach. Yep.
exactly. Like, I can't be giving you a all natural facial product or skin product, and I'm preaching organic and all natural, and I'm still out here eating processed.
Right.
That's what I struggled with too, because I was cooking seafood, like I said, and I had an opportunity where I had an investor who he had a spot for me for a restaurant to do seafood, and I was just like, I was telling my friend like, yo, I could do this restaurant, but I'm like, I first started, that was like in the first month of me becoming vegan, and I'm like, yo, I can't do it. Like, I gotta practice. I can't sell people. I feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, even probably like a couple weeks in, a month in, I was still, doing it out of my house and stuff. And then people still hit me up to this day, like, yo, can you just? I'm like, nah, yo, I don't do that no more. Like, you could try some vegan food though. Like, I reel them in and shit, and then they be hooked. But like, I just, I didn't feel like I was being genuine, because I'm sitting here practicing. I'm preaching all this, health shit, and then I can't be here on the side selling the mac and cheese and crab legs and shit. So
correct. Exactly. And if my focus is on all natural and organic and everything, it makes it a lot easier for me to just move through life and very quickly reach my goals and what it is that I'm trying to do. It's taking me so long to produce my next product. I got the butter, and the butter is all, organic, all vegan, all organic, all natural. It's vegan, obviously, but it's taking me so long to move over onto my shampoos, my conditioners, because so many different formulas require so many different products. And I have to just be sure that once I put that together and it makes sense and it works, that it's right for the body. It's right for the mind. Mm-hmm. It's important. Like I tell everybody, everything that we put on our skins is not regulated. Nobody is regulating anything.
That's a fact.
And for some odd reason, people think that there's someone out there saying, no, that's a bad chemical, it shouldn't go on the skin. There's nobody saying that.
Your skin is the biggest organ of your body.
It's the biggest organ. And if you don't treat your skin right, everything's absorbed and it goes right into your blood cells. And then you're shutting your body down, and we're giving ourselves cancer at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Not really, but like, we're not being educated enough. And those who are even educated, like after this video, are you going to go research everything that you wash your body with, your deodorant, things of that nature? Like, no. People don't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
shea butter for your skin. You could use coconut oil. You could even put, it depends though, because different people's skin is more sensitive. Like, I started putting coconut oil on my face and it broke me out. So I have to watch what, I put on my face. I can't do like.
The thing. If you're doing cold pressed, unrefined, that's the most natural way of going about it. The most organic way.
What are you talking about? Where we at with it?
She's pulling out everything.
This one too. Yep. Well, this one's about to be empty, but you know what I'm saying? And it still broke my shit out.
Wait, but what? Turn it around. What does the ingredient say?
What do you mean? What do you mean ingredients? There's no ingredients except for coconut oil. It says coconut, unrefined virgin coconut oil.
And what I'm saying is that's too strong for you. You may have the refined part where it pulls out all of the, like, it pulls out a lot of what the natural would give you. So for me,
this one is refined. This one is refined.
Right. And that breaks you out too?
I didn't try it because I was just like, nah. But I used a face toner.
You don't do all that though.
Rose petals shit. You ever seen that?
I know.
I tried the
But what I'm saying is, I have a butter that will cure everything. So I'm going to send you the butter, and you shouldn't need anything else. The butter goes on your hair, it goes on your face, it goes on your skin, your leg, everything.
Can you send butter too?
Like, actually, it's being produced right now in your city. It's actually being produced right now. Like, I just got a text message saying it's being whipped up. So it'll be made tonight.
Congratulations.
But yeah, like, that was my whole reason for getting into the natural, and it's just the right thing for me to do as a passionate hairstylist, master cosmetologist, whatever you want to call me. It just made the most sense to go that route. And then I eventually we'll have a full product line where people can purchase these things and know that I've done my research. I'm making this in my kitchen. As soon as I put this, if Target were to ask me, can we go ahead and feature your line? I'd have to say no. If Walmart, I'd have to say no. Because as soon as you start to mass produce, you're using preservatives. And at that point, preservatives are not giving 100%. And you don't know what that could be. For instance, I can use the Irish sea moss gel as a thickener in a lot of my things that I'm making, which is what I'm going to do. And as a thickening gel to, solidify not solidify, but just to kind of thicken up some of the products that I'm trying to make. And it also has its benefits. So it's just think about it though. Like you can do all this yourself. You can make everything that I'm making. You can make everything that Kia's making. You can make. People don't want to take the time to do it. We're not in that time anymore. Everybody wants, instant gratification. And that's why we're here.
It's the time right now for the entrepreneurs to rise up. That's a fact.
Absolutely. I mean, we're living in such a do-it-yourself era right now, and especially now with everything going on with the quarantine and people really testing their boundaries and just doing whatever they got to do. Whether like we just live in a moment where really like there's no reason that we can't level up in one way or another. Whether it's a minor level up or a major level up, whatever the case may be. Really now really is the time. We have all of the resources to do what we got to do. Period. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it is sea moss or it's hair or it's public relations or whatever, you know what I mean? Like we have the ability to really make a difference and really research and go above and beyond and do what we have to do here. So yeah, that's dope.
So I have one last question for Kia. So for instance, for the people who are not in Pennsylvania, who are not in Reading, I'm in Virginia Beach, right? And I need, I do want to ask you to share your food list, your grocery list. However, I need recipes. Like, are you going to be able to go on and show how to make these quick, simple meals?
So that's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm literally quit. I'm calling my job tomorrow. Listen. Take me off the schedule. You know what I'm saying? I work two different cases. I work second shift for them and third shift. So I'm telling them I already found an employee for them and everything. We got it lined up. Like the girl who works, I said, yo, you can take my hours, you know what I'm saying? So it should be no problem. Cause I'm literally working 65 hours every week and I don't have time to my days are a hustle. Like I'm trying to beat the clock constantly. So now that with this time off, I'm gonna put more time into my YouTube and trying to do like tutorials and stuff like that. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not gonna give up all the recipes because I gotta sell stuff too.
No,
but but simple things like I'm gonna tell people the basis of cooking, like because it's all about recreating meals that you already eat right now. So if you break down the food list, you know what I'm saying, and you just try to, I mean, cooking to me is common sense, but a lot of people don't cook, so it's like. You just got to try to, first of all, you got to learn how to spice stuff up because a lot of people don't like, vegetables. So when you getting the right spices in there, it could throw off the bitterness of the kale or, you know what I'm saying? You have to learn how to spice your foods up to your taste buds and then just recreate, shit that you already eat. So.
Right. Well, awesome. I can't wait until that happens because it'll be a lot easier for me. I do have, and I'm sure we'll have her on. Her name is Courtney Uncooked. You guys should go follow her. She's a vegan chef in Virginia Beach. And what she does is she looks at a lot of recipes and she gets the good ones and she does videos on them and she has people featured on them, which it would be amazing if you could come to Virginia Beach and go on her show.
Yes.
Oh, I'll do it.
Her makeup.
Listen, I'll be out. I'll be out.
Yeah. So that'll be a dope experience, and I'll share her link to you guys so you guys can follow her. But she's awesome. A lot of vegan recipes, a lot of quick recipes and snacks and things of that nature that can keep you going throughout the day with like superfoods and stuff like that.
It does take though. The thing that I do have to say though, a lot of people think like it takes a lot of prep to cook. Like if you want to cook a meal, sometimes it takes a lot of prep because you have to wash. You have to wash your fruits and vegetables. Yeah, that is essential. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're buying organic, you have to wash everything. Chopping it up and stuff like that. Like a lot comes to it, and it's different for the regular vegans and the alkaline vegans because I literally make everything from scratch. Like cheese, I have to soak walnuts or Brazil nuts overnight, and then so it's a lot. Like regular vegans, they can go buy their bread and they could go do stuff and buy stuff like that at the store. Like I make everything from scratch, so it's a lot of prep, but the benefits are just so
But it's worth it.
rewarding.
But
Yeah, so rewarding.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, I feel like we're gonna have a video number 2.
Vegan chef, do you want to say anything specifically to our viewers at all?
Health is wealth. That's a fact in all aspects. And we're not talking about money. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about physically, mentally, and spiritually. When you get right with your health, you're gonna connect on all levels. Everything's gonna align with you. And you know what I'm saying? Life is great. So life is love.
Life is love.
That's a fact.
Yes.
Righty. Yes. Well, until next time, thank everybody for tuning in today. Again, I am Renee with Anomaly the Agency.
And now with Chapter 28 Beauty and
Chef K Cuddy.
All righty. Till next time.
All right.
Bye.
Out here.